now for our next item, the Royal Crown of Bethmora, a piece from a long-lost culture.
Lost? Not at all. Very much alive. And I am here to reclaim what is rightfully mine.
Alright, so in case you haven't figured it out by the trailer, we're going to be reviewing Hellboy II, The Golden Army. And in the spirit of our no bullshitting policy, first we just want to tell you what we think about it. Personally, it's worth seeing. It's worth seeing even in the theater. It's not a masterpiece, you know. It's not like, you know, Shawshank Redemption. Everyone sees it and they freak it. Well, that's what I thought of the Shawshank Redemption. But the point is, don't necessarily go in it expecting a Pan's Labyrinth, which was one of his previous movies, the director's previous movies. But if you're looking at it from a Hellboy point of view, you're not going to be disappointed. Would you agree?
See, now, I personally think, I don't know, I think it's the other way around for me. I think this is one of the best films, probably of the summer, not the best,
really?
but it's still up there. I mean, you know, it's not Pan's Labyrinth. I personally didn't really like Pan's Labyrinth all that much, probably because, I don't know, there really wasn't much of a storyline. You know, I mean, there was a storyline, but it was subtitled, and you know me, if I have to sit there and read a little essay for more than 5 minutes, I start losing interest in it. So
yeah, reading an entire movie is not your style. I mean, I'm sure you were a huge fan of Passion of the Christ.
Oh, are you serious? I fell asleep 4 times in that thing because.
All right, back to the non-bullshitting, and what did you?
Well, I think visually this movie is stunning. There's a whole bunch of different, you know, characters, a whole bunch of different things you'd never see anywhere else except for a movie by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that one guy.
He made the movie.
Right.
Yeah. No, he's right. He's right. It's the characters are great. Like the first one, you know, the main characters are definitely well done.
They didn't have a big enough budget in the first one. Is what the problem was.
That's what everyone keeps saying.
He came in with a you know, I want to do a comic book movie, and Universal was like, oh great, what do you want to do? It's like Hellboy, and they're like, what? Okay, well we're gonna give you like this much money to go make it. So he didn't have enough money to do all the stuff he wanted to do. Plus he just came off of Pan's Labyrinth.
Brian.
You know.
Okay. All right. You ramble. It's okay. The point is, good movie. Go and see it in theaters if it's still out by the time we actually post this video. If not, go ahead and buy it. It's worth getting. With that being said, is there anything in particular we wanted to talk about?
I thought the one flaw in this movie, the whole thing, but again, this is just me, they kind of cut away from the action a little. They were, you know, it's either they're doing a whole bunch of action, or it's like love story.
Okay. Now before you attack the love scene, and before you guys turn this off, you're like, oh, love scene, fuck that. What happened in these love bits, although they could drag at times, what happened in them were necessary to the storyline. I'm not going to give away the storyline, but what I'm going to tell you is the effects of the several love stories that go on were necessary to the plot. They had to happen for certain things to go the way they did. Otherwise, the ending wouldn't have occurred the way it did. And let's face it, that was a really cool ending. That was
a cool ending.
That last bit was pretty kick-ass.
That's right. The whole final, the battle part, right? Yes.
That was the only part about that Johann Strauss character that I liked, because other than that...
Oh, wait. Whoa. You're not going to attack Seth MacFarlane in this whole thing, are you?
I'm not attacking Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane did his job the way they wanted him to. He did a German character voice for Guillermo del Toro, whoever. He did fine. The character was just a big shot at Germans. That's all it was. The dude, he did a Nazi march. He was wearing pretty much metal Doc Martens, and he Nazi marched his way into the first scene he was in. After that, it was just the cheesy Seth MacFarlane German voice, which I'm sure that's what they asked him for. I'm not attacking him. I'm attacking this ridiculous character.
I personally love that character. I think besides Hellboy, he was like the second coolest person. I mean, you have you're Smoke, right? You're Smoke, right? you're floating around, and you can go, you know, manipulate people and do things. Who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to like go like you know that show Punk'd? Yeah. That would be so much better if Johann Kraus was in it, because he could like just float into Ashton Kutcher, and just like walking to the girl's bathroom and be like, I'm punked, and just like totally mess with like people and stuff. I think that's great. And like the final battle, he just kicks so much ass.
Maybe he could float into Ashton Kutcher and make him actually funny for once.
Oh, Ashton Kutcher. Hope you're not watching this right now.
He's not watching this, I promise.
But see, I think that character was second best in this movie.
Second best? Okay. If we're going with favorite character, I may actually, and don't just write this off immediately, I may have to go with Abe on that one.
Abe.
Just because they really developed his character in a way, you know, they didn't really touch it too much in the first story. They made him better in this one. Not better, they developed it more. And I think they did pretty well with the Abe character. And the elf princess, God. I'm not sure if they made her to be hot, if that was their intention. I thought she was. I've talked to other people. I talked to Jeremiah, actually. He's a friend of mine who agreed as well. She was hot, you know. They made her up kind of weird looking, but once you look past that, she was a good looking elf princess.
Yeah, but I mean, she's got big shoes to fill next to Zelda. I mean, Zelda, that's an elf princess. Imagine like Hellboy 3. It's like her and Zelda like going at it like mud wrestling. Now that would be a third Hellboy. Hellboy just busts through a door and he's like, I'm ready to kill people, and he just looks down, there's Zelda and the princess going at like mud wrestling.
And then he just lights a cigar and sits there and watches. I think we'd all watch that.
I think Hellboy 3, mud wrestling.
Elf princess porn, they probably have that already. I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't give anybody any ideas.
I actually think I saw in a movie, I guess a movie gallery once, I saw a porno up on the shelf, and it was called Lord of the G-Strings, which obviously is a Lord of the Rings rip. And it's probably something along those lines, because they were like these elf-looking chicks in like skimpy suits and all that. So, you know, they
One
may have
string
that.
to rule them all.
Oh my god. Okay, is that all we wanted to say?
I think so. Basically, bottom line, I know we've been rambling about Zelda and G-strings and all that, but basically, if this movie is still in theaters when you read this review, I'd recommend going to see it, especially since now we're getting into the fall, which is all the lower, didn't really want to see it in the first place season. So I'd recommend going to see this, definitely if you on the screen. If not, wait for the DVD and go rent it or buy it.
Great movie, and please let us know if we bullshitted too much, because remember, our intention is not to. So, please post a comment, and that's it.
That's about it.
Okay.
See you next week.
You woke up the baby.